Hey, I'm Lena, and today we are going to be starting the first video in a series called Begin Like a Boss. I want you to feel like you know how to do makeup when you're first starting out. I want you to learn the tips and tricks right off the bat and enhance your natural beauty quickly and easily. Maybe you are a teenager and you're just new to makeup, or maybe you're older but you just have decided that you wanted to start wearing makeup. And so this is just like the very basics, simple, what are the different products, what do they do, and how can I use them best. So as you saw in the title, this is foundation and primer and concealer today. So let's do this. First, primer. Primer is very important. This really helps your makeup stay on your face. Obviously, our skin gets hot, gets cold, gets sweaty. Sometimes we cry during the day, all sorts of things. And our foundation can definitely be moving, it can rub off all the things. And so there are a few tips and tricks that help that not happen. But primer helps our foundation stay on our face a lot better. So in this video, I'm not going to be focusing on specific products. I don't care what products you're using. If you're just new to makeup, there's a bunch of awesome drugstore makeup. No need to do anything fancy. Mostly, I just want to focus on what the products are and technique. Okay, so this is just a Cover FX primer. It is called Water Cloud. I will have everything linked in case you're interested, but like I said, any sort of primer is great. There are many different types of primers, right? There's hydrating primers or pore filling primers, and so like the hydrating is more of like a lotion consistency like this, you know, like a cloud, and a gel primer would be more of like a pore filling. If you are a teenager and you have acne, I would suggest going with not a pore filling primer. I have noticed for my acne prone skin that sometimes makes me break out. Okay, I also added some liquid highlighter or glow drops, same thing, to my primer just because I like to look a little bit glowy. But that is very personal and is not necessary. Okay, but get your primer on. I always just apply primer with my fingers. It's easy. Be gentle with your face so that your face will be gentle with you. Just kidding. Just so that you won't look older than you need to. We just need to be soft with our faces. And start when you're young. Okay, so now I have my primer on. Then I'm going to go in with foundation. This is a big topic. There are so many different types of foundations. So first you have like a BB cream, which is the idea behind a BB cream is that it has some skincare products in it so that it's working on your face while you're wearing makeup. Okay, it's not just a foundation, but it's also skincare. Then you have a CC cream, stands for color correcting, and that just helps with like redness and different discoloration problems you may have. Then you just have foundation, and then you have like a tinted moisturizer, which is obviously a moisturizer, and then it has a little bit of color in it. Okay, and then on top of all those things, you can have varying levels of coverage. So high coverage foundation, of course, is going to cover blemishes and imperfections on your skin. Is typically like a thicker, heavier formula, may or may not feel slightly cakey. Things like the tinted moisturizer and the BB creams and CC creams, sometimes those are all like towards the lighter or medium coverage. I don't think there are any of those particular products that are full coverage. Full coverage usually just refers to foundation. But even inside just like the foundation world, excluding all of the CC creams, BB creams, yada yada yada, just in the foundation you have anything, you know, that is full coverage to light coverage. That's a lot. Then on top of that, you have different forms of coverage. So there are liquids, or there are powders, or there are sticks. So you just have to decide what works best for you. I personally don't use powders hardly ever. I have really dry skin, so I steer away from powders. But if you have really oily skin, then a powder foundation or a mattifying foundation is definitely going to be the direction you'll want to head. I prefer the glowy, dewier, hydrated look because my skin is naturally dry. Okay, so today I am going to be using just a cheap, accessible foundation. This is a great choice if you're new. This is ColourPop. They are sold at Ulta. I don't know if they're sold at Sephora, but I do know this is sold at Ulta. This is where I got it. This is $8, I believe. And so super, super affordable. There's also just a bunch of awesome drugstore brand foundations that you could pick up. This is the color Light 5N, and it's called Pretty Fresh, and it is a tinted moisturizer. So I'm going for a really light coverage. Then application. You can apply with a brush, or you can apply with a sponge, or you could apply with your fingers. If you're going for a really heavy coverage, I would suggest not using your fingers, but something like this, like a tinted moisturizer, I could for sure go in with my fingers. I'm going to choose to do a sponge on one half of my face, and I'll do the brush on the other half just so you guys can see. Okay, so a sponge, this is just a really cheap one from L'Oreal off Amazon, and I will have things linked below so that if you need any of these products, you can get them. I've been really happy with this sponge. Okay, so I just put a little bit on, and you also wet your sponge. Mine is just slightly damp, and wetting your sponge helps it so that it doesn't soak up all of your foundation. That way it's not just like full of a bunch of foundation. So with it being wet, it will just apply better and be less wasteful of your foundation. Okay, as you can tell, that was a very light coverage. You can still see my skin, you can see my imperfections, and I'm fine with that. Also, a lot of these are buildable. You could throw on another layer and keep rocking if you wanted covered. Okay, now on the other side, I'm going to go in with a brush. One thing to remember, whether you're using a sponge or a brush, is to blend, blend, blend. Please keep blending. Even if you don't have much time to get your makeup done, blend, blend, blend. The more you blend, the more it's just going to soak into your skin and look more natural. Okay? Brush technique, you don't need to be swiping or dragging or moving your skin around like crazy. I just like to use a nice kind of blotting, dotting technique. Be sure with foundation that you're blending it down your neck. Sometimes you see people who haven't blended it down and it kind of looks like they're wearing a mask, or if their foundation wasn't the right color, it looks wonky. Color matching your foundation is a whole other topic that is tricky to dive into. So we're not going to do that today. Same thing that I said with the brush and the sponge is to do the blotting technique. Just kind of press it into your skin. Just like kind of warms up the product, warms up your skin, helps them become unified. Great. So once you have your base down, if you have really oily skin, you might want to set this. You just use some setting powder. Usually they're clear, and you can just take it on a little brush and set it all over your face. I actually don't use setting powder very much, sometimes under my eyes, but not all over my face. So I'm going to just go in with concealer. Again, several different types of concealer. Usually they're just liquid or stick, and their consistency and coverage is light to heavy as well. Concealer is probably my favorite part of makeup. I love what it does to enhance our beauty. It really helps to take away dark circles, and it draws the focus into your eyes, and it just is a great thing to wear. So for sure, don't skip the concealer because it's so fun. Today I'm going to be using a Fenty Beauty. This is a matchstick concealer, and you can see that it's in a stick form, so it's super convenient to apply. So concealer obviously goes right under your eyes, and they call it the triangle of light. So you're kind of making a triangle like this. And like I said, this will just brighten up the center of your face. Can you see what that did? The difference is so huge from before and after of having concealer, and I just love it. Okay, also totally optional, but you could take the little bit that's left and just highlight the high points of your face. So your chin, middle of your nose, and right here on your forehead. And again, that will do that same thing of just bringing the light and the focus into the center of your face and enhancing your natural beauty. And there you go. There's primer, foundation, and concealer. The first few steps when applying makeup. Watch my next video on bronzer and contour and blush if you want to learn a little bit more. And I hope that you guys have a beautiful day. I hope that you learned something from this video. And if you did, please like and share and subscribe below so that I can bring you more quick beauty tips. I hope you guys each take a few minutes for yourself today so that you can look beautiful, feel beautiful, and do beautiful things. You're awesome. Have a great day.